So this is not a card that you can get in packs. This is a big old boy, Tezzeret, Master of the Bridge. This is a Dimir Tezzeret, who has a kind of unusual static ability. Creatures and planeswalker spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. Is it worth making an artifact deck just for Tezzeret or putting in some extra treasure tokens? Probably. This guy's pretty sweet. 6 drop to get affinity seems a little late. Yes, but he is strong on his own. If you're building artifacts. I think he's going to hang out with Jason a couple of decks. His abilities are a +2, where he deals X damage to each opponent, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and you gain X life. Note, that is not to creatures, that is to opponents. His -3 is to return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand, and his -8 is to exile the top 10 cards of your library, put all artifact cards from among them into the battlefield. I see this card as something that's going to go into, it's going to go into some commander decks. I don't know how much play it's going to get in standard. Well, I don't know how much. A Nicol Bolas with a Chaya aura on it, a Nightmare. Affinity lowers the cost. Yes, if you've never seen Affinity before, Affinity lowers the cost depending on the number of artifacts you have out, in this case, because it's Affinity for artifacts. So it would mean that you reduce by colorless mana. You cannot reduce the colored cost of a card using Affinity. There are artifacts which are paid with green mana now. Are there? Oh yes, there's Vivian's Arcbow. Yes, we've had colored artifacts before. Alright, and the next spell is, I apologize, going to be really fuzzy. I have a really low quality picture. It kind of looks like it says Donald, Monarch of Bolas. No, this is Domri. This is the new Domri. He is actually just fine. He is a 3 mana. He costs the exact same as Rhythm of the Wild, has 3 loyalty, he's rare. And his static ability is creatures you control get +1/+0. His +1 ability is to add red or green mana, and creatures you cast this turn can't be countered. It's not just creatures cast with that mana, just creatures you cast this turn can't be countered. Nice, 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 nice. Nice, and also nice. His -2 ability is target creature you control, fights target creature you don't control. If you have big boys, then that's just great. Cool. Awesome. Nice. Kind of wish that fight spell hit planeswalkers, but I'm fine without it doing that. He comes in with only 3 loyalty, so his +1 ability is probably going to get used right when it comes out. But I think that this boy is pretty fine. I like stopping people from countering my stuff. Alright, next up we've got another fuzzy card. Sorry, there's a lot of these. There's a lot of these. It's Rawl. New Rawl. Fancy Rawl. Rawl Storm Conduit. He is a 4 mana planeswalker, and he's rare, so he does have plus abilities. And his static ability is whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Rawl Storm Conduit deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Can anybody say Storm? I can. Did you make me a cappuccino? Or did you just walking in here with one? I'll drink it. Out of the way, mug. We're fancy boys now. Literal Storm Conduit. Ancestor loves Rawl. His +2 ability is to scry 1. I kind of wish it were scry 2. And his -2 ability is whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, you copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's pretty sick, actually. That's actually pretty sick. Yes, Nicol Bolas being able to use this +2 means that Nicol Bolas can move towards his ult a lot faster. That's really the benefit of using this Rawl with Nicol Bolas. Also, they're in the same colors. Did my producer just bring me a coffee? My boyfriend just brought me a cappuccino. He is fantastic at making them. This Rawl's okay. Yeah, I'd say he's a solid, just fine. The next planeswalker we're going to talk about is another one of the fuzzy ones. Sorry, I don't have higher quality images of him. This is Sauron, Vengeful Bloodlord. That's right, everybody's favorite vampire boy is not in a rock. Sure, why not? So this is a 2 colorless mana, 1 white, 1 black, legendary planeswalker, Sauron type. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. Ooh la la, Sauron. Ooh la la, Sauron. You give planeswalkers lifelink? You're giving Planeswalkers lifelink? Okay. Alright, never seen that before, but sure. You do you. You do you, Sauron. His +2 ability is that he deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. By the way, I want to add that usually giving a creature lifelink is pretty expensive unless the card is literally lifelink, though when it was like 1 white. This is going to enable everybody's favorite combo, the Famished Paladin combo, to go off in a completely different way. What 4-drop are you cutting for this anywhere? I don't know. I don't know. So his +2 is a +2, so it does ramp him up pretty quickly. And then he has a -X ability, which is to return target creature with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield, making it into a vampire. Card from a Splendid Angel into this? Maybe. Who has Sauron dated in the past? Sauron has dated Etrata. I'm going with Etrata. Tapped? No, not tapped. The creature that gets returned does not come in tapped. So, by the way, because he comes in with 4 loyalty, that means that you can use this Sauron to bring in a low CMC creature right when he comes out. Sauron was in a long-term relationship with the rock that he was in. There we go. You ship him with everyone because he's the perfect vampire boyfriend. Okay. Tybalt does shut down Sauron's passive ability. Yes, because life gain can't happen. Okay, I know there's a higher quality version of this card, so I'm sorry that I'm showing you this one, but it's... Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. I've got the higher quality one. There we go. All right, guys, we're going to talk about a card that has been very hated in the day since we've known he exists. This is Teferi, Time Raveler. He is a 3-mana Azorius Planeswalker. Help, 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 help. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime they would cast a sorcery. Help, 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 help. His +1 ability. Until your next turn, you can cast sorceries as if they had flash. Oh my, oh goodness, oh my, oh goodness, oh my. And his -3 is to return 1 target artifact, creature, or enchantment to its owner's hand and draw a card. 3 mana, by the way, comes in with 4 loyalty. Kai's goes for him. The new Vivian, new Teferi, and the Bolas Planeswalkers are concerning. This is concerning. We are going to have 2 very, very playable Teferis. This Teferi is designed to shut down mirror matches between either Azorius control or Esper control. So this way, one Esper player can't counter the other Esper player's spells because they can't cast spells at instant speed. Azure Shock, thank you so much for that resub. This Teferi does not do much against aggro. It does very little against most non-control decks currently. But he does change the game state significantly. This Teferi does not kill opposing Teferis. That's true. You can also ruin tempo decks by existing. Yeah, you throw down one of these and it sticks against a mono blue tempo, and they're just like, so I can't flash in my wizard anymore? Oh. Oh, okay. Guess that sucks. Yeah, also, the fact that until your next turn you can cast sorceries as if they had flash. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Can't dive down, can't counter. Rip. Can't believe this. Can't believe this. What happens if both players use their +1s? Okay. The wording is opponents can cast spells only time they cast a sorcery. Until your next turn, you cast sorceries as if they had flash. So I believe the way this would work is it would mean you could cast sorcery speed spells at instant speed, but you could not cast instant speed spells at instant speed. Yes. So that's dumb. Hey, Zarek. Neither can cast instant speed spells at instant speeds, but they could cast sorcery speed spells at instant speed. That's a rude dude card. Alright, next up, we're gonna get into one of my favorite Professor Catface Meowmers. It's a Johnny the Great-Hearted, not to be confused with Zedru, also Great-Hearted. A Johnny copied Zedru. Zedru did it first, a Johnny did it second. A Johnny the Great-Hearted is a 4-mana planeswalker that gives creatures you control vigilance. I like that. His +1 is that you gain life. Okie dokie. And his -2 is that you put +1/+1 counters on each creature and other planeswalker you control. Ooh. I like you, a Johnny. So a Johnny is like a must-have in Selesnyan tokens. This boy is gonna go wild. He's gonna be like, wow, what's up, everybody? Have some tokens. Have some counters. Have some life. Me, ouch. Does this buff Gideon twice? Yes. This puts a loyalty counter on a planeswalker and a +1/+1 counter on a critter. So this buffs Mr. Gids twice. Is it Johnny Deckard Cain? I'm Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen. I'm a big kitty. Let's see, do I have the blurry art for this card? Sorry, I'm trying to open up the next one. Stay a while and listen. I apologize for the low quality image for this next boyo. This is the new Niv Mizzet Reborn. He's a Wooburg! His -2 does not buff himself. No, it's other things. This is a Wooburg! Legendary creature. Dragon Avatar. When he enters the battlefield, you reveal the top 10 cards of your library, and for each color pair, so that's each guild pair, you choose a card that's exactly those colors from among them, and you can put them into your hand. This seems kind of weird. Yeah, the mana cost is kind of weird, but still something you can play. He's also a 6/6 flyer for 5 mana, kind of. Cute and flashy, not so playable. I could actually see him being in a Rainbow Monstrosity commander deck. Not playable? Yes. I don't think that he's going to be played very much. I thought he was a joke at first. Too bad. He's real. Yes, he can be your commander for a 5-color deck. He could work for Gates. Except what 2-color cards are you using in Gates? I guess Hydroid Krasis. There are ways to trick out creatures. Yep, Vivian's Arcbow is one. Oh, apologies. My next card is also a blurry one. Sorry. Sorry. Here it is. Here it is. It's Rolesque Apex Hybrid. So this is a human mutant, which the Simic have put together. Kind of gross, kind of nasty, but fine. It's hard to read, so I'll read it out. It cost 2 green, 1 blue, 2 colorless to play. It's a legendary creature, has flying and trample, and it's a 4/5. When it enters the battlefield, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, so it can't target itself with that ability. Sick, though. And when it dies, you proliferate, and then you proliferate again. This was the Guardian Project. Yes, I believe this was the Guardian Project's final result. Who's ready for Simic Ascendancy? Me, I am. Hurrah! Double proliferate on a card? Sure. You do that. No, he's not a Flying Growth Chamber Guardian. He doesn't find more of himself. In fact, you can't have 2 of him out on the battlefield unless they were Helm of the Hosted. Mythic, you're better off trying it in paper. The way you hold that cup makes you nervous. Oh, because I'm holding it from the bottom. Yes, I'm holding it like a mad lass. All right, now gonna move on to Widespread Brutality. This is a Rakdos colored card. Sorcery speed, 4 mana, amass 2, and then Punch. So this is a widespread brutality. This is kind of like a board wipe. This spell amasses 2, which means that you either make a 2/2 zombie or you add 2 +1/+1 counters to a zombie army you already have, and then you deal that creature's power to each non-army creature. So that includes your opponent's non-army creatures. It would not hit your opponent's army if they happen to have one. This seems like a fun card, actually. I could definitely see trying to build some fun stuff around this, like in a big ol' zombie army deck. It's mad for a rare, but I could see it doing some good stuff. No, it does not hit your own army. It only hits non-armies. Yeah, it also hits your creatures. It's zombies ablaze, that is true. And now I'm going to show you an actual next board wipe, because Standard needed more board wipes. Standard needed more board wipe. Didn't need more board wipes. This is Time Wipe, also known as Hydroid Crisis Bounce Travaganza. This is a 5-mana board wipe called Time Wipe. It is in Azorius cards. I think Azorius Control, by the way, might make a comeback. This card returns a creature you control to its owner's hand. And by the way, that is not a requirement. You don't need to have a target creature because it does not say target. And then you destroy all creatures. Bounce Frilled Mystic, white board, also works. Anything with a good enter to the battlefield. Bant Control. This is just fine. Just fine. This is fine. And now we're going to show another piece of inexpensive removal that I'm slightly concerned about. This is Angrath's Anger. I'll translate, since it's not. This is a sorcery speed spell for 1 black, 1 red mana, and you get to choose one. Target player sacrifices an artifact, or target player sacrifices a creature, or target player sacrifices a planeswalker. Ooh, the flexibility on this, and this is an uncommon card. I think it's probably Teferi and Time Wipe, yes. There's a man holding a stick, wearing his robes. Yeah, so this is Angrath's, yes, Mad Cow Disease was, I believe, Scryfall's translation for this card. Why is it in Portuguese? Because that happens to be the language that this card was spoiled in. This is sorcery. This is not an instant speed spell. This is extremely flexible. I see this card being played in pretty much every Rakdos deck because of that flexibility. Though, I guess if you're trying to go fast, it'll just get ignored. This is actually the first piece of, like, cheap Planeswalker removal we've seen. So I'm hoping we see more stuff like it. Rakdos Control? Maybe. But why have Rakdos Control when you can have Orzhov or Mardu? Aristocrats. It's the Cruel Celebrant. 1 white, 1 black, 1/2. Who cares? Whenever it or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Ooh la la. Was there a translation of the flavor text on that last card? Yes. It's not on here, but I did see a translation for it before. I'm sorry, I don't have it. You like this? You like this? Because I think we might have some hero aristocrats going on. Might have some hero aristocrats. Cruel Celebrant would be nice with Hero of Precinct 1, Judith, Heroic Reinforcements, etc. Yeah, because this hits non-token creatures. Look at her face. She's pre-brewing. I'm thinking. Calculating. 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 Yeah, I kind of wish that this word dies or were exiled, just to kind of like go with the theme here. Cruel Celebrant, Teysa, Slimefoot, Poison Tip Archer, party hard. Alright, next card I'm going to show. This is probably the most talked about card from the last couple of hours. Uncounterable Counterspell. Dovin's Veto, or Dovin's Ban. Ban? We'll go with both. This is a Azorius counterspell that ruins lives. That's right. Instant speed. This spell can't be countered. Why are we offline today? Arena is down right now for maintenance. It actually should be back up right about now, but I'm going through all the spoilers. This is Dovin's Danny's DeVito. Yeah, this is Frank right here. it's not. So this is a instant seed spell that cannot be countered, that counters target non-creature spell. Negate, but more. Kind of reminds you of Theros or Thanos, because it kind of reminds me of Theros. This also stops Reclamation, Nexus, etc. You'd think this is a rare. This is not. This is an uncommon card. And I just downed that coffee because I deserve it for having to look at this card. It's a negate unless you control yourself. Yes. It's Insane 42 with a resub. Time wipe 22 months to be specific. Heck yeah. Hi, Scraps. Let me get you on a land. Thank you so much for resubbing, Insane. How many cups of coffee do I have there? One's a cup of water and the other's a cup of coffee. Cheers, thank you. Yes, this is Dovin's Ban. And the only card that stops this card is an expansion. No. You can't counter it, even if you try to counter it. It won't work. Expansion doesn't stop it, yeah, because you just can't. You could target this as the spell you're trying to counter, but it won't get countered. Thought Erasure or to Restu, yeah, but that's a little preemptive. Alright, next up, Invade the City. This is another amass card where you amass X, where X is a number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. So this is a way to make a big boy when you've got a graveyard full of spells. Or just make nothing if you have none in your graveyards. Do you think we're gonna get a redirect in this set? I don't know. Maybe. We don't have any in standard right now. You like to have your big boys fly? Yeah, so this makes a zombie army, so you can't, this doesn't fly. It's not a Drake. Hi, Anime! We're talking about spoilers. How are you doing? Did you get home? Part of the self-mill deck? I don't think I'd put that in my self-mill deck, but maybe you will. Maybe you will. It's Anime in the chat. Also, time for more cards. This one's Angrath. It's also in Portuguese. I will translate. It has hybrid mana costs. Hurrah! This is a Angrath, Captain of Chaos. He costs 2 colorless mana and 1 black, red, and another black or red. It's one of those things where you can cast either. Hybrid mana is awesome, makes things easy to cast. Creatures you control have Menace when this boy is out. He's an uncommon planeswalker, so you'll probably see him in draft. And he has -2 to amass 2. I don't like how young Angrath looks in this art. I feel like he looked more like a nice big cow daddy in the last set. But this is fine. That's okay. He de-aged since Ixalan. And amass 2 means that he's either making or growing a zombie army. His giving creatures menace is pretty nice, but yeah, I'll see him in limited. Big cow daddy. Yes, big cow daddy. Next up, we've got Chaya. Just for you, we have Chaya. This is Chaya, Bane of the Dead, a 6 mana planeswalker, also with hybrid mana, which has opponents, creatures. Oh no, it's your opponents and permanents they control can't have hexproof, right? Yes. It's hexproof removal. Chaya, yes, this is Chaya. You could put this in Mardu to make sure that your removal always hits things. But remember, this is 6 mana. She comes out with 7 loyalty, and her -3 ability is to exile target creature. So she can exile 2 things before she would wreck herself. She does not hit planeswalkers, she only hits creatures. This looks not completely unplayable. Yeah, looks not completely unplayable. Also, it's uncommon, so you'll see it in packs. Her enchantment is really good. There's another hybrid mana. By the way, we're getting a whole bunch of these hybrid mana uncommons. Like this one, Vraska, Swarm's Eminence. You'd think Vraska would get like a rare, right? Anyway, this is another Vraska. We have so many Vraskas in Standard right now. Whenever a player you control with Death Touch deals damage to a player or planeswalker, you put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Aww. Thanks, Vraska. You're gonna make all my filthy rats so much better. This is Death Touch travel card. Yep. Her -2 ability is to create a black assassin creature token with Death Touch, and whenever this creature deals damage to a planeswalker, destroy that planeswalker. So I was hoping that we would get a whole tribe of assassins that kill planeswalkers. So far, Vraska makes them. We might get more. Fingers are crossed that we get more. That does not say combat damage, no. So that is a creature that has planeswalker Death Touch. So you could use Thrash, I believe. Thrash, I think, is the fight spell that hits planeswalkers or deals damage to spells with one of these creatures in order to kill a planeswalker. Thud also works, but don't. Or do. I won't stop you. Yeah, it's Thrash/Threat, I believe. We've also got Kiora. There we are. Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. We already saw her Behemoth. She had that Leviathan that she was riding on the head of, as shown in this art. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. She's a 3-mana planeswalker. She has 7 loyalty, and her -1 ability is to untap permanents. She's kind of cool, actually. Yeah, she's simple. 3 mana, 7 loyalty. Right? That's a lot of loyalty, right? It's a lot of loyalty. It doesn't make it deal damage. She seems fine with Vannifar. Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. So, I would love to see a Kiora and Vannifar combo where you use Kiora to untap Vannifar so you get a little bit of extra birthing pod every turn. This could go for some really wackadoo stuff, fingers crossed. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works. Could lead to some fun shenanigans. Being able to untap stuff usually does. Usually does. Kiora is not useless. No. At 3 mana, she's not useless. Next up, we've got Samut, a 4-mana creature that, or sorry, a 4-mana planeswalker that gives all of your creatures haste. Her -1 ability is to give something +2/+1 and haste until end of turn, and then she scries. Not super strong. I would personally rather have Rhythm of the Wild. Oh, that's true. You can untap the Proliferate land. Not bad, not good. If you get this in limited, sounds pretty nice. Why does her -1 give haste? In case you -1 her and she dies, her ability will still give the creature haste. Somewhat feels the need for speed. And we've got only 2 non-lands left. Nice. Uh-oh. Website didn't load. Website didn't load. Website's not loading. Oh no, Mythic spoiler. Only have 2 cards left. That's okay, this one will be really blurry. Karn, the Great Creator, another 4-mana Karn. I can barely read what he says, so I'm gonna have to look up Karn, the Great Creator, see if I can find another variant of him. Bark. There were new cards today that aren't on that list. Which ones? Probably missed it. Alright, so Karn, the Great Creator, is a 4-mana planeswalker where artifact abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated. Okay, so I guess they can't Icy Manipulate. I guess. Karn and Mycosynth Lattice. Already Lattice is skyrocketed? Yes. His +1 ability, though, is until your next turn, up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact with power and toughness equal to the amount of artifacts. Equal to their CMC? Sorry, that's weird. It's equal to their CMC, I believe. Total. Flute was the one revealed today. And his -2 is you may choose an artifact card you own from outside the game or in exile, reveal it, and add it into your hand. He has 5 loyalty. If you have Lattice in play, opponents cannot tap anything for mana because it will turn things into artifacts. Yes, so Mycosynth Lattice is a way to turn absolutely everything into artifacts. If you make it so artifacts cannot activate their abilities, Karn locks your opponent down. Mycosynth Lattice, dear God help. We've also got another legendary artifact. This is Bolus's Citadel. The Bolus's Citadel is the same cost as Lich's Mastery. It's 3 black mana, 3 colorless. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Cool. You may play the top card of your library, and if you cast a spell this way, you pay a life equal to its CMC rather than paying its mana cost. Neat. You also tap and sack 10 non-land permanents, and each opponent will lose 10 life. Cool. 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 I have no idea if it's necessary to occupy the top 1,000 in Mythic this month. I like this card, too. I want to build some jank around it. Are you the one who can't see the Karn clearly? No, it's super blurry. That's not just you, Dragon Lore. I don't have a good picture of it. Neat and cool. Neat and cool. Alright, now we've got a couple other spells. I'm going to find the new spoilers and show them up. Am I not showing the lands? I am! It's Emergent Zone! This is the card that you can sack it to play spells as though they add flash. Neat. It's pretty cool. At least I think it's pretty cool. We've also got, very quickly, Interplanar Beacon. This is mana fixing for Planeswalkers. You can pay 1 mana and tap this card to make 2 mana of different colors to spend to cast Planeswalker spells. So, pretty cool. This is going to go in a lot of Super Friends decks, too. Like 5-color Super Friends? Heck yeah. And then the land I think people are most excited about. Karn's Bastion. Karn's Bastion. 4 mana, tap, proliferate. Karn's Bastion. Proliferate on a land. Proliferate on a land. Proliferate on a land. Proliferate on a land. Karn. 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 You can't just put proliferate on a land. It's not okay. You can't just do this. Nerf Karn's Bastion. Nerf Karn's Bastion, please. Please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Alright, somebody said that there were new cards spoiled. I am checking Scryfall. They're not there yet. I'm gonna check. I guess Reddit probably has them. Somebody made a bad combo involving Roll. Good. Good. Okay. Here we go. Flip it. Wow. So, our favorite homunculus is back, and he's finally legendary. You guys, Flip is finally playable as your commander. That's right, he got a creature card. After being in so many different pieces of flavor text, he's finally back. Fibblethip, wrong. They can say that that's how you say his name, but it is wrong. It's really, that's how you say his name. He's got 1 big eye and a whole lot of heart. This is a 2-mana homunculus. Aw, he's a 1/1, and whenever he enters the battlefield, you draw a card. Neat. If it enters from your library or was cast from your library, you draw 2 cards instead. Neat. Whenever he becomes the target of a spell, you shuffle him into his owner's library. Oh my. He's kind of like Squee. You can't bolt him, because if you target him, he'll disappear. But you can Chain Whirl him. Hashtag dice to Chain Whirler. If found, please return to deck. Aw, poor boy. And was there any other spoiler today? Oh yes, there was. Here we are. Neheb, Dreadhorde Champion. Our zombie Minotaur boy is back. Interesting. This is a purely red Neheb, so this will go into, I guess, our Minotaur tribal deck, just because him Minotaur. 4 mana, 5/4, trample. Nice stats already. Whenever he deals damage to a player or planeswalker, combat damage, sorry, you may discard any number of cards. If you do, you draw that many cards and add that much red. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as the steps and phases end. So, light the stage, post-combat party hard. Why though? Why though? Why though? 4 mana is a lot to pay for red deck wins. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good though. Eternal Taskmaster? Yeah, I already showed Eternal Taskmaster. It was one of the first ones I talked about. Experimental Frenzy and Standard, that new legendary artifact, this stuff, party hard. There's a red and white card in Standard that gives more attack steps. The purely red one rotated out. It was in Amonkhet. You'd play this over Experimental Frenzy? Very possibly, yes. Did I see the doggo? Yes, I showed doggo who embiggens with +1/+1s. This is very much a limited bomb, yeah. I'm just drinking from the skull of an owl. I am not! I'm not. Okay, now I think I've gone through all the spoilers and I get to open Magic Arena back up. So let's do that. It's going to have to load. Nice Banefire Companion. Are these cards coming out or something? Yes, Scotty Games. These are going to be coming out at the end of the month. These are part of the War of the Spark expansion, which means that soon you'll get to be able to play with them. You think I did a great job at the Invitational. Thank you, Farf Narkle. And you like my stream? Thank you. This is definitely not how my stream normally is. I'm not usually talking about spoilers, but it seemed like a really good way to spend time while Arena was down. I think I did a good job. There's like 1,000 people watching. I think I did a good job. Realistically, you won't draw that many cards. Yeah, because your hand's usually empty in red deck. But it seems like a really good way to cycle out the lands, like the extra lands you have in hand, and find some stuff, get some mana, and win. You like my desk? Thanks, I found it on Google image search. Don't tell Article 13.